What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to this video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today I'll talk about Zenless Zone Zero. Right? Everyone knows that on this channel I primarily talk about Genshin Impact. It's a game I enjoy, it's a game I'm passionate for, and I love sharing those passions within the videos I create. But for those of you who actually catch my Twitch live streams or even check out the YouTube community posts, you guys know that I'm a big fan of Zenless Zone Zero as well. I play it regularly. I do play on stream quite often, and I enjoy it to the same degree as Genshin. And we all know that a few days ago we've had the 2.0 live stream, and that has really invigorated my love for the game, and I really want to share this with you guys. So yeah, let's talk about Zenless Zone Zero. So just to start off, let's talk about what is Zenless Zone Zero, or ZZZ for short. It's basically an action RPG game. The world is instance based and is very similar to Honkai Star Rail. In fact, for those of you who are unaware, it's created by the same developers of Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. And basically, you have the separation of the city where you do your daily tasks, and also the Hollows, right? A place that's corrupted by this thing called Ether, where you explore and also do battle. Now, the game centers around the proxy siblings Wise and Bell, who guide their clients called the agents, which are the playable characters, through the Hollows. And whichever MC you choose as your, or whichever character you choose as your MC, guides the characters by syncing with their bamboo called EOS, while the other one assists you accordingly. And it's nice to know that in this game, the siblings actually stay together. They're not separated. You're not finding your brother or sister, right? You're actually staying together and working as a team. But the first reason why I like Zenless is that it has the vibes. In the new Eridu that we've had for the 1.x patches, right? The city area, right? It has the charms, right? It's charming, right? Whereas your character does their day-to-day life, it really brings back to a simpler time, right? It's obviously very retro inspired, but it brings back to a time where there weren't a lot of technological advancements as we have today in 2025. We have VHS tapes, we have flip phones, arcades, the Wild West, movie rentals, all that good stuff. A time of peace and serenity. But beneath all that, right? Beneath all that peace, right, lies the Hollows as mentioned, right? The Hollows are basically areas that were created due to an apocalyptic disaster. And basically, it was what destroyed the old civilization, now called as Old Eridu, right? New Old, yeah. So yeah, basically Old Eridu. And, as the overworld, right, you had the people who are living like a peaceful life. Many of them are actually haunted by their past, right? They're all survivors of the cataclysm, and they're all haunted by what has happened many years ago. But it's also their motivating factor for a better life today. And to me, I like that quite a bit, right? Obviously, it's very easy to say that on the surface that people are just chilling, but there's a reason why, right? It's because they are unshackled by what has happened many years back, and they're trying to move forward. And yeah, as Aaron Yeager once said, Tatakaye. But obviously, as a gacha game, one of the main selling points are their characters. And I think that across the gacha space, especially in Hoyoverse, I think they do have some of the best designed characters. Obviously, for me personally, my favorite character is Evelyn. She is massive. She has massive damage, right? She's a very good DPS. But yeah, there are other characters that, like Jane Doe. Now, I know that Zenless Zone Zero has a bit of a reputation as a Guna game, and I think that most of it is warranted. In fact, I don't think they shy away from it. But yeah, these characters are very well designed, so obviously they have the assets, but even for those characters that, maybe aren't as well endowed, right, they're still pretty cool in their own right. We have Miyabi, who's obviously, a very cool character, both in story and in design. She's a samurai who doesn't love samurai. And also we have characters for the men as well. It's not all just about the women. We have Hugo, we have Lighter, who's I'm gonna say, man, Lighter's pretty good looking, right? A straight man, he's a pretty good looking guy. We also have, characters that are part animal called Thyrans. So we obviously have Lycon, Pulchra, we have Ben, the bear, Big Brother Bear Ben. We also have Billy, who's like very mechanically assembled. You know, we have Onis like Tokaku, and yeah, and also, you know, in future in 2.0, we know that we're gonna get like Pan Yinghu, who is like a panda. Unfortunately, Jack Black isn't voicing him, but that's pretty sad. But yeah, you know, I think that we do have a lot of designs. I think that many of the characters obviously look great, but we also have characters that, you know, really round out the design philosophy as well. For me personally as well, I do enjoy the combat. You obviously go with your traditional crit DPSs. You can go with like anomaly DPSs, which are very similar to like Super Break from like Honkai Star Rail. And no matter which path you choose, it's a different experience altogether. Now, obviously, at the same time, Zenless is very fast-paced. It's for me, it pumps my adrenaline, keeps me on my toes. And I know that many people on launch criticize Zenless for being too easy of a game. And while that is still true today, they have definitely changed the way they design enemies. Instead of just left-clicking and pressing the spacebar, we need to parry. Some of these enemies do have intricacies where you have to time your attacks at the right time to expose their weakness. And I think that this kind of design is really good for the game going forward, with newer enemies coming in subsequent patches. And I'm very confident that the ZZZ devs will be looking to further this down the road. A game doesn't need to be hard to be fun or to be enjoyed. Yes, people enjoy Dark Souls, people enjoy Elden Ring. Recently, the new hottest game is Clair Obscur. But yeah, you know, obviously these games are fun, but some people just want a more relaxing game, or a game that is much more simpler and to a certain extent easier, right? It's the reason why The Legend of Zelda is a very popular title, why Kingdom Hearts is crazy, or the fans of Kingdom Hearts are crazy for it. And yes, those games do have their difficult content at times, but in general, right, people enjoy that the games are a lot more simple to play. And to a certain extent, Zenless as well, for me, I enjoy it. And so I told you guys why I enjoyed Zenless over the last year, but why I'm excited for what's coming ahead. Well, we all know that 2.0 Livestream came about a few days ago, and with it, we've gotten a new area, we've gotten new characters, a new story, so on and so forth. You know, very standard new area stuff like that. But at the same time, right, I think that what they've done is to really take what they've succeeded with, improving on it, and trying to iron out the kinks and some of the problems that they've had in past patches. Now, obviously, mentioned new area, the Wi-Fi Peninsula, the Phalium Heights, which is a new city zone, the Aerospace City, which is where the Hollows is. You know, and they're trying to integrate the Hollows. And they're trying to integrate the Hollows with the overworld as well. You see that the game is going a little bit more like semi-open world with the way they designed like some of the places. Right, they have a map now, which, you know, wasn't really needed because the world was a lot smaller. But now with them being like multi-storied, and, you know, just a lot bigger, obviously there's a lot more needed. And picking about QOL, you know, we've gotten like good stuff like eliminating the day-night cycle for like farming, a new UI for fast travel, all that good stuff. We've gotten new gameplay mechanics like MISM and corruption, which is very similar to the abyssal corruption from Genshin Impact. We've gotten like a new management system for like the new place that we're going to call our home, which is the Swapian Temple, right? Just to make our hub a lot more unique in that sense. We also have new outfits for our characters, right, for the new region, which kind of like, you know, really makes like the new patch really feel like not only just like a rebrand, but also like a new start for the players. We all know that this is also the anniversary patch, right? An S rank agent that's given out for free for the anniversary rewards. Personally, I'm choosing Grace, not for any reason other than I don't have her. And for the weapons, I'm choosing Brimstone. Yes, we're also getting a free 5-star S rank weapon as well, alongside with all the other stuff that we get at like anniversaries. We've gotten like events, reruns for popular characters like Astro Yao, all of that stuff. And as mentioned, we talk about the new UI changes, the new quality of life. But for me personally, right, the thing that I'm most excited for is the rework to Ellen Jo. Now, I'm going to say this because I don't have Ellen Jo, right? So I'm not going to get the full benefit, or I'm not getting any benefit from this because I do not own the character. But for those of you who don't know, Ellen Jo is the first ever limited 5-star character in the game, right? She's very similar to your Zila, from Honkai Star Rail or Venti from Genshin Impact. And the fact that they are reworking her, making her kit better, I think is a good thing. Now, just as a summary of what Ellen is, basically, she's a DPS character, but many people said that she was very clunky and took a lot of steps to reach her max damage potential. Now, in Zenless, there's a game mode called Hollow Zero, which is basically like the roguelike mode in the game, similar to Simulated Universe for Honkai Star Rail. And in this game mode, Ellen actually has like additional like mechanics and additional stuff to a kit. Now they are adding those mechanics into her actual kit for the whole game, which will help iron out some of the intricacies or clunkiness that she has faced in the past, right? One of the things that I think most people complained about was her dash attack being the main part of a kit, but not giving her immunity. Now she actually gets that immunity, just extra scaling on her damage. And obviously, you don't have the full numbers, but I do think they're going to get improved, and also for her additional abilities as well, giving her more team building options. Now, all this is good, and as I mentioned, I don't have Ellen Jo, but why is this like a positive thing for the game for going forward? Now, it shows that the devs actually are looking at the game, seeing what's like good and not good, and trying to fix it. Now, I think that generally, this is a good thing. In other games, especially Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, they tend to fix older characters by releasing new characters to make them better. And while that is like an okay thing, right? The fact that the ZZZ devs are actually looking at buffing older characters means that Ellen probably isn't going to be Ellen is the first, but she probably will not be the last. We're going to have more characters that may receive buffs in the future. And yeah, I think that's a very good thing. Obviously it helps to refresh the gameplay of all the units and makes them more viable and on par with newer releases. It also eliminates the pressure of characters of players who pull for new characters, and it really satisfies the older players who want to play who they want. Now, obviously people say like, oh, this kind of hurt their bottom line, but at the same time, by reworking Ellen Jo, people may be like, oh, I skipped her in the past because I didn't like the way her kit works in the past, but now with her new updated overall kit, maybe she is a lot better and they might actually pull for her on a rerun. I think that's great. I think that overall, that Zenless is not only just looking at characters that have been an issue in the past and looking to rework them, but it also means that they are actually listening to feedback and improving the game as a whole. Now, obviously, Zenless as a game is good, but it's not perfect. Obviously, one of the biggest talking points in recent times has been the HP inflation, and my take on it is that yes, it is happening, right? You can't avoid it. The numbers are getting higher. Now, is the only reason why this is happening because Miyabi is too strong? No, right? There are other reasons as well. But at the same time, right, while it is not a problem today, it can be a problem in the future. And I think that Zenless needs to look at it so that it doesn't reach that stage. And also other factors as well. For me personally, I think that farming materials are very expensive, or like the characters require too much materials to level up. I think that's something that can be looked at as well. But really, looking at all of this, it gives me hope that that Zenless devs are actually listening to the community feedback. Devs listened, all that stuff, but looking to actually improve the game as an overall product. And I'm here for it. And so all in all, I'm pretty excited for Zenless and the future of the game as both a creator and a player, right? To enjoy the game that I play on a regular and to share that passion and love with others. Is this the point where I'm going to start making new Zenless video? Probably. But yeah, it's a game that I'm interested in. I played it for very religiously since started in 1.1, and I really want to share that love with the players that watch my videos. And of course, let me know in the comments below if you are a new player, returning player, veteran player, all that stuff, or if you have not started playing but looking to start in 2.0. With all that being said, right, I really hope that this game does well. I think that it looks like it's going on an upward trajectory, and I'm here for the journey, and I hope that the devs really make the game as good as possible. But yeah, that's that for this video. Really thank you for listening to my yap, but really I am excited for the game, and I hope that those of you who play Zenless are excited as well, especially for you Xbox players, because the game is coming on like the 6th or the 5th of June. I don't know the date, but yeah, when 2.0 drops, it's also going to be available on Xbox, so it's going to be pretty fun. But yeah, let me know in the comments below your experience with Zenless as well. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Do know that I stream live on Twitch, link down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, good to yourselves and the people around you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.